Oh boy, lucky me. My dad's bringing me a new project. In this video, I'll be repairing a 3-point disc. Now that I have a good welder, I'm going to be fixing a bunch of stuff that's been piling up while I was avoiding using my old stick welder that it works, but the stick kind of sucks to work with. And I used a MIG welder a while back and was like, oh, this is so much easier than my stick welder. So now that I have this set up, I'm going to start with this disc here. Basically, there's two main problems. Whenever this was made a long time ago, it worked fine, but either something was modified and that's what caused it to break, or over time, however it was engineered, really wasn't that good for the long term, and stuff started to sag and break, and somebody repaired stuff or modified it years ago. One of the things that is an issue for this is these 3-point connections here. These sagged. I believe they were straight when it first put together. So I need to do something to replace this and make that stronger. I think this was just simply added. These look really ugly and made by somebody on their farm. And then this was some kind of repair here. Basically, when this is up, because of how this is all set up right now, the outsides would probably, I think, sag down, and it failed because I don't think it was ever meant to be held at this point. These basically would pull this up, and that would cause that to go down, and it kind of failed that connection. At some point in time, it was probably held just here, and it looks like there were some holes here, so I think it was actually held at these points out here. So what I might try to do is reuse those holes, and basically I'll actually try to bring this back out and connect it back here, and that'll create a much more stable connection. There's no more forces pulling up and down here. Everything's going through those 2 points out there, and then brace it up somehow. That's what I'm thinking. We'll see if that's what happens at the end of this video. But definitely need to repair this and see what the heck went on in here, and I'll go from there. The first thing I need to do is I need to get penetrating oil on all of these bolts. We'll see how easily that comes off, because I'll definitely have to take some different pieces off here. And I bet a lot of them have been attached for a long time. I have no idea what I'll need to disconnect, so I'm just gonna spray most everything. What? That's weird. That came off way too easy. As I continue working on this, I realize I should probably get my updated tetanus shot. I think I'm gonna go do that right now. Okay, I really am back, and I really did go get a tetanus shot. It was 13 years since I last got one, and now I feel invincible. So I can bust my knuckles all I want and not worry about it. So I think what I'm gonna do now, everything's sitting pretty flat, or at least flat enough for our purposes with this thing. So really all I need to do now is attach everything back together. I looked more at this, and this is all kinds of broken and not welded together, and whoever did the job before really did it ugly. Hopefully I can do a better job than that. But I'm gonna just cut off all this stuff that was added, so I'm back to kind of the original shape, and look at that, and then find the material I need to strengthen that up and fix that as best as I can. And then get new arms that go here and new arms that go out to the side. And it appears with these things that is the standard practice to put it out to the side. So I have no idea why they decided to do this. So that'll change. But what I will add once I, reattach these areas that are all wrecked from time and use, I'm going to probably tie a piece of angle from this corner here to over here somewhere. And the idea with that is on this, I'll tie the straight up and down right into this corner, because that should give it the most strength. There's a bend here, so it gets all the flex from that, and I think that'll be the best spot to tie it all into. And that'll give it a little bit more support going out across here, because right now all that supports it is just this weakened piece that loops around. That's the only up and down part that's from, heck, all the way out to the front. So it could use a little bit more support. So that's the plan. You see just how bad this was. That's all just kind of, it's sort of hanging out. This piece is just loose. It's all just kind of here. I don't claim to be a good welder, but whoever did this was a lot worse than me. Oh, that was easy. There we go. And that piece is off. You see, it wasn't even hardly on. That's all that was holding it together. A little bit that came through here. That was nothing. Hi. That's not attached anymore. So the more I look at this thing, the more I just want to really start over with everything. This is really messed up. Clearly failed spectacularly and tried to refail spectacularly. You can see it had failed here, cracked through here. On this one, it looks like it failed on this upper part, followed through around the angle down there, and then also broke this extra bracket that was in there for strength. And I thought that was stuff that was added by the previous owner, but looking closer at it, it looks like it came from the manufacturer that way, and they thought it was strong enough, or maybe it was, and you know, the person was too abusive to this piece of equipment. But you know, the same thing here. This one has broken twice now, I'd say, from the repair and then again in the same place. And I would say that you know, that's the piece that's now not in there. But I'd say clearly something with how this was engineered and the stresses on it, this doesn't work. What I'm going to do here, we'll see how it turns out. I'm going to take these discs off completely. Now that I have this thing off and just by itself, which is definitely the right call, I think, I'm going to show you here everything that's going on. So seeing this now, I do think that this here is all original. And it failed, and you can see it failed there, and this crack went all the way around and down, and then it failed underneath. And that probably was original as well. It's an odd angle, but this one seems to go the other way, so maybe that was on purpose, or maybe they just figured good enough, just did that. But you can see they both failed in pretty similar ways on both sides. So what I'd like to do now is completely cut this whole thing out. That'll take a little bit, but I think once I have that off, it'll be relatively easy to replace it with a square tube of a similar dimension. So that's the plan here. Some challenging spots will be getting this out, getting this all out here. Something you might not know about me is that I am obsessed with cardboard. I save way too much of it, but it comes in handy so often, I just never want to get rid of any of it. And I've got this big piece of cardboard that I saved from when I got a big new air compressor, and I think it'll be perfect for making a template of this so that when I go to put it all back together, I can kind of confirm everything's where it needs to be. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip this over and lay it on top of this and sort of trace it out so I have the shape for later. close enough. There we go. Okay, so I have everything ground. I might sandblast this a little bit because it's really pitted. Probably where I'm welding it's good, but I want to make sure I don't get any junk in my welds because I'm not the best welder. I've gotten good at stick welding, but done some MIG welding, which is what I'm going to use for this. To overcompensate for my lack of skill, I'll make sure it's really clean so that I don't get junk building up in my weld. I'm still want to try to straighten this part. I have some ideas, we'll see here how I handle that. And if it straightens out on the other side, I might even try to straighten this a little bit, but it's pretty darn close, it's not bad at all. So I might not touch that if it's hard to do the other side. And then I will make my brace, tie it all in with welding, and then it'll be putting on the supports. And I think I want to add 2 more, so it really spreads it all out, and so this thing really is over-engineered now. Then I can flip it back over, and I have to redesign all the mounting points for the 3-point mounting system. So, still a lot to do, but I'm getting there.